Oh, I think we're good to go.
Okay, it's recording. All righty.
It is.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Glad to be here with you today. And like Bigby said, it's a spring, one of our spring days. So hopefully, you'll be able to get out and about in it. We've had a little cooler snap, which is always wonderful. Got a little full moon happening this weekend, so hopefully I'll find myself in a tent on one of the nights and just do that. But for today, we're going to talk about content marketing, and it's actually it's a great the great topic for today because that's what I'm actually doing for myself, um, for my business, and I've talked to y'all many times, openly about it falls through the cracks. I mean, I looked at the last time I made a blog post or last time I did, social post or anything. And I know the value of it. I know the importance of it. It's just time. So I'm gonna go through a couple um, slide presentations that we're going to talk about as far as inbound marketing, customer decision journey. Some of the stuff that we actually did during the marketing workshops earlier in the year or last year, um, or whenever that was. I'm gonna go through those and just kind of touch base on them, just as kind of a reminder of what we're looking to do. But and then also I'm gonna switch screens then and actually show you some of my what I'm working on today, what I've been working on this morning, and what I'll work on after we're done. That relates to content marketing, kind of how I sort things out and organize things, and try to keep things moving. But as we all know, content creation is a super important and valuable part of our business, and so I see directly when I don't market, when I'm not doing e-newsletters or blog posts or social posts or anything of that nature, business slows down. And then I'm like panicking. I'm like, oh, no one's asking me to do anything. Oh, well, that's right. They don't know what you do, and you haven't asked them to do anything, or you haven't sent them any information. And so it's this back and forth, up and down, love-hate relationship with it all, um, that happens. But again, you get back up on the horse and you get back with it. So let's start today with this. All right. So let us start with. Where's my presentation? All right. Some of this will be a little familiar to you that we had kind of done before. Um, Yeah. So in the past, in our past ones, we've talked about different aspects of digital marketing and marketing in itself. And then today we're going to talk about some of the, let me just share here, present, here we go. Present, there we go. All right. So there's different aspects of content marketing. I mean, content marketing is everything from a news email you sent to a blog post you write to a social media post. All of that is content marketing. And so there's two main areas that I wanted to kind of revisit that we had talked about before. One is the customer buying journey, and one is the with inbound marketing. Um, and looking at those. And what you're looking at, what I'm wanting you to do is in these different aspects of these different phases, think about what it is that is beneficial for you to be able to do to create the content. AI, I've completely 1000% embraced ChatGPT. I'm actually finishing a couple of courses on it, prompting courses and understanding how to use it in marketing, et cetera. And it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer that we should all be on ChatGPT using it to help us be more efficient, more creative, and market study on our audiences and things like that. So I'm actually going to change our one of our classes coming up. One of these sessions, I may even do just two AIs because I feel it's that important. Not that I feel, I know it is. But for today, we're going to touch on understanding the customer journey. So there's a process that customers go through, including ourselves, when it comes to buying something. There's an actual, psychological process that we go through, and that's kind of what they call the customer buying journey or the customer buying process. And by being able to identify what these areas are, helps us understand how to create content that addresses those needs when people are looking for our product or service. So in times past, pre-internet, pre all that, there was kind of this idea of a vertical funnel that, there was an awareness, an interest, a decision, and an action. And you kind of dump things in and things kind of scattered to the bottom, and eventually someone would do business with you. But with the explosion of digital channels and internet and now ChatGPT and AI, we have a customer base that is more well-informed, more intelligent, has more information at their fingertips before we even know they're there. And so they had to come up with, marketing in general came up with a more sophisticated approach to help us market our businesses. So they kind of came up with this graphic that's still pretty relevant, the customer decision journey. And what it basically looks at is 4 different areas of the process, the ongoing process of someone buying our product or service. Now, these are ongoing because someone may be looking at initial consideration, but there may be another customer who's in active evaluation. There may be another customer who's bought from us. There may be another customer who we're trying to increase our customer service with so they will get to the loyalty loop, but I'll go into those a little bit more detail. But obviously, you got to start somewhere. So there's a trigger. Everything that we go through as consumers, there's something that triggers us. I am triggered to need something, to want a product or a service. And so then that begins the initial consideration phase. And we're going to go into more detail for each one of these. So there's an initial consideration. I begin thinking of who I could possibly buy from that would address the trigger that I had. And then I'm going to evaluate those possible businesses. I'm going to look online, look at different things about them. And then I'm going to make a decision and I'm going to buy it. I'm going to do a purchase. I'm going to buy the thing that I initially needed. And then there is the next area of what is that post-purchase experience that we have with those brands and those companies that we buy from, that hopefully the experience from the moment of purchase through the post-purchase has been so well received that then we become loyal to them. We become their referral partners. In some cases, we buy from them again. But it's that process that what we're looking to do is create individual pieces of content in these 4 different phases that exist. They keep, they rotate, they keep existing, they're ongoing out there, so that no matter where the consumer is in their process, we're there in front of them, more so than the competitors, more so than what our competitors are doing. So let's take a little bit deeper dive into these. So the initial consideration phase. So I'm triggered, there's something I need. Obviously, my brain's going to jump back to, who do I initially know? Who do I know that I can buy this from? Because I'm already familiar with them, it's more likely that I may buy from them because I already know who they are. I already have an experience with them, or someone I know has referred them. But what it also enables us to do is for us to keep ourselves out there in social, in digital, so that we become part of that initial consideration phase. And so that's why repetitive and ongoing posts, specifically in social, matter on these different levels. So one way to get in front of people, to make them think of you when that trigger comes, when that time comes, is doing campaigns that are around brand awareness, what our company is. We've talked extensively about our mission, our vision, who we are, why we do what we do, our unique selling proposition, what are our competitive advantages, what's our story. So all of those come under brand awareness campaigns. And so those are posts, newsletters, et cetera, postings that go out that educate people about our story, falling under content marketing. Another thing is, making sure that our websites are optimized ideally for keywords and phrases that people would be using to look for us when they're searching. Social media engagement is very important, but then also more traditional ways of getting in front of people, whether that is sponsorships of events, I've been to several trade shows in the trade shows and events, whether it's chamber events or 101 business women in business. But there's people that have tables there and they're being seen. So sponsorships, involved with community activities, those type of things, just so people see you and your business out in the forefront way before there's ever a trigger of what they may need or want to buy from you. So we create these things. So we create these contents that go out. That's what we do. And when we repeat them, right? And so we'll create 4 or 5 brand awareness campaigns that we will repeat. We may change a photograph or some text, etc. But these are ongoing. So you're creating like a little small grouping in this that periodically over 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, you keep resending because you want it to appear because we all know that very rarely do people really go to the full Facebook page, right? Or our social media page. They look at actually what's in their feed. So a constant reminder is okay. So now the next phase is the active evaluation phase. So I've triggered, there's some businesses that I am considering to buy from. And this is when I'm getting more information. I'm comparing options before I make a purchase. I'm also looking out possible new information or reviews or recommendations. I'm asking people I know. I may look at expanding who those potential choices are. First place I'm going to probably go to is word of mouth. But again, what is it that I can create in the active evaluation phase that educates people more, a little deeper, a little more focused about what it is that my business does? So this is an area where some of those activities would include making sure it's easy for people to understand what we offer. Making sure that they understand clearly, what our products and services are, whether that's through website information, video information, etc. This is an important part where customer testimonials and reviews come in. Google business profiles, Facebook reviews, Yelp. There's several out there. But having an active and pretty robust review portfolio for your business. I just created a new Google business profile for Orhan Macmillan. I've had one for Designs Interactive. I just got that set up the other day. And so now I'm going to actively be sending people direct emails, like messages saying, hey, I really appreciate you putting a review out there. An important part to remember on that, I don't want everybody signing up on the same day. It just looks weird. So I'm kind of spacing them out. 2, 3 people I'll ask a month. I may get one review, the other ones forget. I come back to them because I want it linear over a period of time, just so people like, okay, this makes sense. Another thing during the evaluation phase is educational offerings, whether that is videos about my product or service, articles, blog articles that they can go to my website and read about, or I can share. Case studies, success stories. We have those on our websites, hopefully, that talk about our successes. Possibly depending on your business, is there a free trial or a sample that you can provide to let them experience it without purchasing? And then also comparison content, comparison between what you offer and what your competitors offer, and being able to, compare and contrast those side by side, again, in this active evaluation education, because what you're trying to do is get yourself in a more confident position of consumer confidence and education. Another thing, and I don't think I'll have it listed here, is using an AI chatbot on your website so that when people on the website that we all use those now, that you can customize a ChatGPT chatbot on your website so that people can ask questions, find out more information in real-time format. And again, just another great way of engaging people. So now we've got this set of content out there. We've got the initial consideration content, we've got the active evaluation content, and now it's time to make a purchase. So this is actually when people make the final decision, using the testimonials, using everything they've gathered, going with their best instinct. Sometimes it's price, sometimes it's gut instinct, but this is actually the point where us as businesses need to provide a smooth and reassuring checkout process, a process to purchase, minimizing any hesitation or friction. So again, Make sure that your checkout process, if it's an online checkout process, make sure it's with as few clicks as possible. If it's a more traditional signed contract return, engage digital signed contracts, just whatever you can do to reduce, and I like the word friction, the resistance, the second guessing, the quicker, the faster. Um, and then a personalized follow-up. This is where you check in. In some cases, I'm a service-based industry. So this is where I sent a contract out for someone yesterday that needs some work for a few months. I sent it out yesterday. I sent her a text this morning and say, hey, just want to make sure you got the estimate. Do you have any questions? Are you ready to sign? But again, checking in instead of just letting things linger. Making sure that people know that, depending on your product or service, is there a guarantee that you offer? Do you have return policies? Things of that nature. And then also maybe limited time discounts or promotions, or, we're going to talk about more of those in the loyalty thing. But again, making sure that my checkout process is efficient and easy, and that I am in touch with them in that moment between interest and purchasing. So now we've got those three areas, content. So then we move into the post-purchase experience. This is what the area after we buy something. So most of us encountered, there's me and my words, after we buy something, usually I get a text survey or email survey. How did we do? Please give us your feedback on our experience. Those type of things, because that's where we want to check in for multiple reasons. One of them, we want to show that that customer is of value and that they're important to us, and get their feedback, but also have an opportunity to learn. Maybe there was some areas that weren't as ideal as possible, that maybe did have some friction that we can find out. But if we don't ask, we don't know. So some of these marketing strategies is setting up an email or messaging. How was your experience? Like I said, asking for feedback. Is there any customer support they need? Is there, checking in, is there anything they need to know? Is there something they're not sure about? There's a great activity in this is encourage them to share socially. Talk about your product or service that they bought. Talk about their experience. And then possibly even getting them to send personalized product recommendations and things of that nature. So again, it's after that point of purchase that we're looking to continue to engage. And by doing this in a good way, and by really engaging with them, that's when we end up with a hopeful loyalty loop. This is when people become, loyal to our business. They buy more from us. They talk about us. They encourage people to buy, their friends to buy from us. And so in that place, this is where we're building the long-term relationships. Now, you may be like, for example, website development stuff. I mean, they don't need this every other day, unfortunately. But what I'm still doing is I'm checking in, touching base. How's it going? How is the website? Are you able to use a content management system? Are you writing the blog post? Can we help you with this? I see that you're not doing social posts. Again, it's being a friendly and helpful advocate for their business. But again, everyone here's business is a little bit different, but there's always ways that we can engage and continue the relationship with the customer to help in that loyalty aspect. So a loyalty program sometimes, follow-up communication, personalized communications, um, exceptional customer service. This is where, you make sure that they are good with what they purchased, they're happy with it. There's a lot of automated ways we can do if you're selling actual products, any additional offers or VIP. But again, and also regular engagement through content updates, adding them to your mail list, making sure that they're following you on social media, those type of things, increase that loyalty aspect of doing business with us. So it's an interesting process. Like I said, you kind of think about one or two things that you can create or that you build into your operations for each one of these, and you implement those each time you have a customer. I know for me, there have been times where people have considered us, but did not buy from us for whatever reason. Someone had a better price, better sales presentation. But I also checked in with them. I kind of built it so that I would still check in with them. And many times I got so much positive feedback about that was, thank you for checking in. It's going great. Or, sorry, I wish we would have gone with you because the experience is not so good. But again, it's just building those little touch points in that just show customers that they're valuable to us and they mean things to us. So think of unique ways that you can do that in your individual businesses. So now the second concept is that of inbound marketing. How do we bring people inbound to us? It's a little bit different than the customer buying journey, but there is some overlapping. So again, in the topic of today, this is content marketing. What I'm wanting to do is inspire ideas for you to create content that can show people of interest, show people what you do, those type of things. So inbound marketing it's an attraction-based marketing. I'm putting out such great information, some helpful information, informative information, entertaining information, that when it comes time for people to buy from me, they're already connected to me. It's almost like that initial consideration phase. It takes it to a little bit deeper level. But again, it's creating information, it's creating content, giving so much valuable information as it relates to what your product or service can do for the consumer, that they're already kind of connected to you before they even buy from you. So different ways of doing that is getting traffic, creating blog content that for on the website, it'll increase keyword density, that then when people are Google searching for you, or now in this case, ChatGPT searching for you, because you have so many more relevant keywords and updated blogs, and you're blogging once a month or once a quarter, your website appears higher than your competitors do. Making sure the pages and content is search engine optimized. This was kind of a very complicated process before, but now with ChatGPT and being able to do cross-competitor analysis, it's a lot easier nowadays. And then all that stuff, all that content, the blogs, videos, etc., sharing it out on social media sites with hyperlinks back to the website. And then through there, let me see here, we got this. Okay, let me follow my script. So inbound marketing is everything from blogs, interactive tools, photos, of course, infographics, videos, podcasts, presentations, ebooks, all of those type of things are inbound marketing. That's the stuff that floats around that brings people into us. Let's see. So the question to ask the inbound funnel is, how will I get traffic? And then from that traffic, how will I get potential leads? And then how can I convert them into customers? So let's go back here. So with the leads, so I have a blog article that I posted out on LinkedIn. I give a little snippet of it. Someone clicks it, they go to my website page with the blog, and they're reading about it. I'm going to be out putting quite a few articles over the course of this year on implementing AI tools. Now, on that blog article, there needs to be a call to action. Learn more here. Click to download our PDF, file of 5 tips, or something of that nature. By doing these strong call to actions throughout the website, on these pages, etc., we're trying to get people to do a couple things. Hopefully, maybe fill out a consultation form where they're more interested in what we do. They're asking questions about what we do, or more interested. Let's see, somebody's AI just said they've reached the recording limit. But again, lead generation. So then I'm trying to get them to give me my email address or their phone number or something that I can then move them into my e-newsletters, into my, ongoing, content marketing processes. So I can put emails out, more information. Possibly if they did fill out something that was an inquiry form, then I would reach out to them on, by email and phone, say, hey, thank you for filling out this inquiry form. Let's talk. Let's talk a little bit more information. And then the last part is looking at these different campaigns and looking at the analytics that are involved with them, and being able to study which ones worked well, which ones may not have worked so well. But again, it's this ongoing process that really never ends. You're constantly refining it. Let's see here. Okay. So again, thinking about that, how will I drive traffic? And then, how will I get leads? And then how will I get customers? And then what data am I going to analyze? And so we'll go through that a little bit here. So I'm not going to get into personas today. All right. So before we get too far into that, just wanted to see if anybody had any initial questions before I go into kind of a real demo. All right, then I think we are okay. All right, so as I mentioned, you caught me in content day. So I'm going to go and kind of show you, some of the things now. I did tell you that it has been a while since I've done it. So I had to really kind of reboot myself a little bit to remember what it is that I was doing or trying to do. So let's see. So as I was preparing today getting my stuff ready. So there's Designs Interactive, which is the web and marketing company, and then there's Orhan Macmillan, which is the educating and training. So there's these two entities that float around. And so for each one of them, I have social media pages. I have a MailChimp account individually for each one of those, and I have individual websites. Now, I know for a fact that I haven't done a blog post in a while for either one of them. So basically today, just in my rough format, I'm not saying this is the most efficient way, and some of y'all that are probably better operating are going to gasp at this. But as I was just trying to get focused today, I said, okay, so Designs Interactive and Orhan Macmillan social content. So here's an updated list of Designs Interactive, things I can talk about, websites we've completed, new clients that we've served, that we've signed on. And then here's Orhan Macmillan. There was a literacy program I worked on. I spoke at a conference. I've been doing some SBDC presentations. So those are kind of the social things. So I outlined quickly, okay, this is not all this is going out today, but it kind of got me back on my calendar, my content. I'm gonna move this over into my content calendar when I get a chance. Let's see, I went to chat for a second. All right. So then I'm like, okay, my newsletters. What do I want to put in a newsletter? So for my Designs Interactive mail list, I like to do a feature I call What Orhan Has Been Up To. And basically it's pictures of me doing different things, just kind of like educating people on the different talks I've done, the different workshops I've done, the different events, to inspire people to say, oh, well, like he spoke about that, or he did this, or he worked on this, those type of things. I'm going to do individual e-newsletters for launching of 3 different websites, not all at the same time, but I'm going to prepare them and send them out to remind people I still do web. We're still doing web. And let's see. Okay, and then under Orhan, what has Orhan been up to? There's going to be that one. And then there's my blog information that I'm going to be writing blog posts down here. There's going to be, like I said, a lot around AI services that we're offering now, whether that's helping training businesses, understanding business, how to do setting up processes, implementing processes, those type of things. So again, that's kind of like my general calendar of what I've been looking at. So today I went into my little Canva account and created this little animation for one of the websites that we launched a few months back for Alvin Fairburn. They're architects and land surveyors and engineers. And so did this. So this is kind of like a portfolio showcase of what we did. And so Canva has this really great little tool that I was able to do screen captures, like video recordings. So basically I did a laptop recording of me floating through the website, cruising through, and I did an independent one where I actually did a screen recording on my phone, imported that video. So this small little post, I know people aren't going to read all this. I know that. But I just wanted to show, hey, we did websites. Here's how it's moving. And it's a neat little video thing. So I'm working on posting that in Facebook and on Instagram. I then went into my Chat GPT and I prompted it. I said, my company Designs Interactive recently completed a website redesign for Alvin Fairburn and Associates. And I make sure and put the 2 websites because Chat GPT will go scan those 2 websites and use language that is appropriate. Can you write me a draft of a Facebook post that will accompany a short video that I created showing the new website on a desktop and on a mobile device. So here's its first draft. I haven't gone back and really proofed it much, but it gave me this content, referenced us, gave a few pointers about the website, streamlined navigation, professional design. The new site makes it easier than ever to explore services, get in touch, and stay connected. And then it gives a link back to their website. And so I'm going to play with this a little bit. I never used the first iteration. I like to go back and reprompt and ask questions, etc. But this gave me a draft. Now, here's another tip that I started doing recently. So Alvin Fairburn has a Facebook page that I make sure and I go like their page. I did it earlier today. I hadn't done it before here. Because when I actually go post this, when I actually go put this posting on here, whenever you go to create a post, I want to be able to tag them. I want to be able to tag Alvin Fairburn so that when I post it, it tags their page. So maybe it will pick up some traction with their followers. Maybe their people will see it. Because again, I'm trying to give as much of a reach as possible. Another example of that I've done heavily for a paid client is this one. So Capital Construction is a general contractor out of Baton Rouge. Here we go. Did a fancy little header for him, but this is an example of a time-consuming, but at the same time, very effective social post. So the client had provided me with a spreadsheet that talked about what they did, the project. They're in the process of building a central fire station, number 33 in Central, outside of Baton Rouge. Gave me the content, gave some data, targeted completion, who the general contractors were, who the architect was. So what I did was they gave me these, and I went in and found as many. So I'm acting as Capital Construction. I went and searched through Capital Construction and followed every single one that I could. So everyone that's highlighted blue, I found them. I found their Facebook page. So that when I actually went and did the post, I actually manually went and edited each one of these to tag them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, let's say 14. What ended up happening is I see, like, this is one of the, so 1, 2, two of the businesses that I tagged liked our post. Now, we've got comments, we've got shares. Emails Architecture actually commented on our post. Thank you for the mention. I responded back to them because this post right here, because it had the tags, because it had the likes and shares and engagement and comments and responses, this has a better chance of showing up on a larger variety of feeds. If I wanted to go in and boost this post, it's going to reach a larger audience because there's been so much activity already in it. So again, there's a method to the madness, to remember that. So I wanted to give you that example to understand that if this is the type of business, whatever type your business is in, that, go like their page so that then you can tag them. If you don't like them ahead of time, you can't tag them. So I'm going to do that. Here's another little trick using ChatGPT. Let's see, can you now modify this post for Instagram? Because I don't necessarily want the same post on all the pages. So now it's going to edit it, downsize it. I'm going to go back and compare the two. I'm just kind of doing this for our conversation today. And then my other main platform is LinkedIn. This is great for now. Can you take the original? Apply for LinkedIn. Because LinkedIn is a different audience, so therefore I want a different tone. It's obviously it's more professional by keeping it engaging. So again, I'm gonna go back and look at the language and compare them. I don't have time to do that today, But by having, first of all, 3 different posts in a matter of seconds, as you've seen, you want them tailored for each of the platforms. And luckily, AI and ChatGPT understand how to do that. So now I've created 3 different posts that will then go out. I think most of you know about the @followers. So after you post something, you go back into your comments and you actually tag @followers on Facebook, and it sends a notification out to all of your people that follow your page. So that engages, hopefully, I know I click on it, I'm getting them all the time. But again, better way to reach other people that like your page. That's another tip that I keep in mind. Now, what I'm going to do that I haven't been doing is then I'm going to take this Alvin Fairburn and I'm going to add them to my work section. I haven't updated my portfolio in a while. So now that I've got this little simple animation, it doesn't have to be complicated. Used to be when I would do very long, I may do some screen captures or something, but I'm going to actually, for efficiency purposes, I'm actually going to embed this little video into the work page on the website here. I'm gonna talk about what we did. This is pretty simple to renew. But you see what I'm getting at? I'm now taking these content areas that I've created around one website launch that I've now gotten onto my, well, let me back this up. I'm gonna post it on the website first, get the URL, and then in this Facebook post, I'm gonna incorporate, see more of our work, look at, more detail about Alvin Fairburn's website, click here. So I'll have a website link to theirs. Actually, back it up. I'm figuring this out. I'm talking as I go. I'm not going to post. I'm going to, on this one, on the original Facebook, I'm going to have this link, not send to Alvin Fairburn's website. I'm going to have this go to the page on my website that focuses on Alvin Fairburn because I want them on my website. I don't want them on Alvin's website. But in here, I'm going to put visit. I have some of them I do visit their website, or I'll put a call to action, visit the Alvin Fairburn website. But I really want them on my page first. I want that inbound link. I want that visitation. I want that call to action. So I'm gonna update my website with their information, call to action, share that then on Facebook and LinkedIn with hyperlinks back to my page, right? And then last but definitely not least is my MailChimp. So let me see if I did one. Yes. So this is my MailChimp. Now I do a little tricky thing with MailChimp. So I've got Orhan McMillan in here, contacts. What do you call it? Segmented my list. So I've got Designs Interactive lists and I've got Orhan McMillan contacts. And I have different headers. And so I'm kind of tricking MailChimp right now because I don't want to pay for 2 accounts, basically. And it makes sense. People know that I'm one and the same kind of thing. But here's one that I did back. No, that was what's Orhan been up to? Let's refresh. Here we go. Okay, this is I did for Turner Law Firm. But here's a little something, what we did it before, but and after, take a look. I sent them to Turner's website because I didn't update it on mine, but this one that I'm going to do for Alvin Fairburn, I'm actually going to have it linked back to my page there. And and that's how I'm gonna do. So we've now got website update. We've now got email marketing campaign. We've got 3 social media profile posts that are going to go out. That's pretty good content. That's pretty good content creation on one idea of a website project we completed. And then I go back, schedule those things, and then there's another website. Blog post. I'm going to be writing a blog, or ChatGPT is going to be writing me a blog, and I'm going to post that. So I think that kind of gives you an idea of the different ways of marketing content-wise as it relates to brand awareness, project completion, product completion, those type of things. Let's see. I don't know if they've had a chance to do it, but I asked them for a Google review. Let me see. This is my business profile. Here's my reviews. I gotta go, something's up with my Google My Business. I think I did something because it doesn't show out. It doesn't show like everybody else does. But anyway, that's not for here or there, but you can see it's weird how it looks on this page. But anyway, so reviews. So then I'll have them in my kind of operating procedure and process to ask them for the reviews. So again, content marketing, creating stuff, creating content that floats around out there, that promotes what we do, that talks about, our products and services, etc. So let me see if I got all the AI people saying you've reached the end of your time together. Okay. So any questions here we go again, using my little friend ChatGPT. Okay, let's see my screen. Then I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna say, now, can you create engaging email newsletter? Oops. So now it's creating a couple different subject lines, the header, the body text. Obviously, I'm gonna take that video embed and I'm gonna drop it in there so they can see that in the e-newsletter itself. Here we go. Thinking about your own website update. Let's talk. Shorter versions, highlights more benefits, mobile optimization. So again, I can go back and refine this, and I always tend to go back a few times and refine each one a little bit over and over. So, all right. All right. So we got a few more minutes. If anybody's got any questions, feel free to chime into those or ask those. Well, good. Well, thank you, Contessa, for your feedback. But hopefully it's inspired you to kind of think about things that you can do. And again, I like to reiterate, I haven't done this in maybe a month or two. So we're all there. It all happens. Jump back in, get back in get back and kind of get the process. I feel good about my process. I'm going to hopefully in the next 2 days get all this put together so it doesn't slip through the cracks again. And I don't go a couple more months because again, I noticed that no one was really calling me about anything. Then I'm like, oh, you're not talking about you. So why in the world are they going to call you? And that is kind of what this whole content marketing thing is continually let people see little pieces of what you do.
Absolutely. And do you know what the next topic is for the session?
No. I need to go to my chart and
Working on
I
it.
have it.
In
Actually,
development.
it's in development.
Okay.
Uh,
In development. All right. Well, hopefully, yeah, we'll have that in 2 weeks' time. And for those of you here, and I'll keep banging the drum on this a bit more, especially with the next program. I'm going to try and get you connected to groups of businesses on the program and one-on-one stuff as well to do this in a more hands-on fashion as we go forward.
Absolutely. Everybody get
All
outside.
right.
Enjoy the
Thanks,
day.
everybody. Yeah.
Bye, y'all.
Take care. Bye.